Happy Thursday, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about 514, which means our success criteria today is I can define an outlier and pick the best measure of center for a set of data. So it looks like we're going to be learning about a couple new vocab words. So outlier is something that we're going to be able to learn and figure out what that vocab word means. And then the second part is we have to be able to pick the best measure of center for a set of data. So yesterday we learned about measures of center. That's your median, your mode, and your mean. And so today we're going to talk about those things and we're going to learn about that word outlier. So let's pull up our notes. Make sure you've grabbed these from the tower. Take a moment, write your name on the top. And here we go. Okay, so again, yesterday we learned about measures of center. These are things that explain to you what's happening at the middle part of your data, which makes sense. It measures the center. And we had mean, median, and we have mode. So in different situations and in different sets of data, one of these is going to make a little bit more sense to look at than the others. Sometimes the mean does a better job describing what the center looks like. Sometimes the median will do a better job explaining what the center looks like. Or sometimes the mode will do a better job of explaining what the center looks like. So when are we going to pick mean? Well, we're going to pick mean when the data has no outlier. Now I know we don't know what this word necessarily means yet, but we're going to do that in just a little bit. So hang on for a second. So we're going to use the mean when there is no outlier, okay? Or it's symmetric. We're going to use the median when the data has an outlier. We also call this when it's skewed. And last one, we use mode when the data has many repeated numbers. Now, in two of these definitions, we talk about this word, sorry, I'm messing my stuff up, outlier. So, what is an outlier? We need to understand that first. So, an outlier is a number that is either much larger or much smaller than the data. And the best way to get this is just looking at an example. So example 1, circle the outlier in the following data set. So I have the number 100, 125, 122, 3, and 128. When I look at this data, think to yourself, which number looks a lot larger than the other numbers or a lot smaller than the other numbers? 100, 125, 122, 3, or 128. In this case, I'm going to pick 3 as my outlier. 3 is the outlier because it is much smaller than the rest of the data. Okay, so again, circle the outlier. We picked 3 because 3 is the outlier because it is much smaller than the rest of the data. An outlier is a number that is either much larger or smaller, so that fits our definition. Take a look at example 2. Circle the outlier in the following data set. 2, 6, 1, 4, 178, 9, 10, and 3. So which number seems like it doesn't quite fit? It's either much too big or much too small. 2, 6, 1, 4, 178, 9, 10, or 3. In this case, 178 is my outlier. 178 is the outlier because it is much larger. This time it was larger than the rest of the data. There you go. So then to review, now that we know what an outlier is, when something doesn't have an outlier, when all the numbers are kind of close together, you're going to use the mean. When there is an outlier, when there's a number that seems kind of skewed, that it's all the way far away, either it's really, really small or a number that's really, really big, then we're going to use median, and median's going to describe that data best. And if it ends up being a situation where it has a lot of repeated numbers, like it's a 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, okay? Because it has all of those fives, we would use mode, something that has a lot of repeats. So we're going to scroll on down and we're going to take a look at example 1 here. So example 1, what is the best measure of center for the following data set? And in order to figure that out, we're going to find the mode, the mean, the median, and we're going to go from there. So first, it's asking, is there a mode? Which we have a little hint here. Is it repeated many times? Is it what we see the most? So I always like to write most. That helps me remember mode. I have a 7, a 4, a 1, a 2, an 8, a 3, a 5, a 3. Do you see any repeats? No, I think I do. 3 and 3. So my mode is equal to 3. Now in this data set, there's only one mode. So that probably is not going to be the best. Okay, let's figure out the mean. Remember, to find the mean, I have to add everything up. So I'm finding the sum of all my data points. And then I divide it by how many I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 data points. Okay, so now let's take a moment and figure out what that sum was. 7 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. Looks like I'm getting 33 divided by 8, which gives me 4 and 125 thousandths. So this is my mean. Maybe this one will be my best measure of center. The last thing they're asking me to solve is my median, so I need to put them in order. So 1 is my smallest, then I have 2, then I have 3, and I have 2 3s, so 3 and 3, a 4, a 5, a 7, and an 8. All right, let's find that middle number. 1 and 8 go away. 2 and 7 go away. 3 and 4 go away. Uh-oh. I'm left with 2 in the middle. When I have those 2, remember I have to then add them and divide by 2 to get my real middle. 3 plus 4 is 7 divided by 2. I'm going to get 3 and 5/10. Okay, and that's my median. Now I still need to know what's going to be the best measure of center. So I'm going to go back and read my descriptions on the top. It'll be the mean if there is no outlier. I almost even want to highlight this no in like red so we pay attention. No outlier. Median is if it does have an outlier. And mode is if there are a lot of repeats. So, is mode going to be the best? Well, no. Not a lot of repeats. Okay, what do I need for mean? It looks like mean has to have no outlier. Do I have any number that seems really, really big or really, really small? 7, 4, 1, 2, 8, 3, 5, 3. No, they actually seem really close. So I'm going to say it checks out. Okay, why? No outlier. So in this case, mean is my best measure of center. Because there is no outlier. Okay, let's take a look at our next one now. Example 2. What is the best measure of center for the following data set? We have 82, 85, 82, 81, 82, 82, 78. So, what is the mode? Something that's repeated many times. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 82, so my mode is 82. Next, I need to look up the mean. To do the mean, I have to add all of the values. I'm finding the sum of the data sets. And then I divide that by how many data points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7. Okay, I'm going to find the sum of my numerator. 82 plus 85 plus 82 plus 81 plus 82 plus 82 again plus 78. Looks like I'm getting 572 divided by 7. It looks like I'm going to get 81 and 714 for my mean. I'm just going to double check that one more time because sometimes when I have so many numbers, I just like to double check my addition. So 82 plus 85 plus 82 plus 81 plus 82 plus 82 plus 78. 572, yep, and then I divide that by 7. Yes, 81 and 7, 1 and 4, and it keeps going. Okay, so that's my mean. And now my last is to find the median. I have to put them in order. Looks like 78 is my smallest. Then I get an 81. Oops, 81, there we go. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4 82s. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 85. Okay, let's cross off to find our median. And it looks like my median is 82. Now that we've done these 3, I need to think what is going to be my best measure of center. Now, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different, 4 of the same number. Now, there's only 7 numbers, so that means almost, or a little more than half of them are the same number. So, mode is the best measure of center. Because it has a lot of repeats. Okay, and now let's do example 3. What is the best measure of center for the following data? So now they're not asking us to find the mode, the median, or the mean. We have to look at this data and see what we can find. So I have a 1, a 2, a 1, a 100, a 3, a 4, a 6, an 8, a 5, a 7. When you look at this data, what stands out to you? Now, I I'm going to solve all of these pieces anyways. But I want you to keep thinking what stands out. Mode. Are there any repeats? Well, yes, there is. Your mode is a 1. Okay, let's find the mean next. To do that, I have to add. I'm finding the sum of all my data values. I divide by how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to do 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 100 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 7. This looks like I'm getting 137 over 10, which is the same as 13 and 7/10. Last thing is to find the median. Median is going to be, I'm going to put the numbers in order, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to cross these out, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Looks like I have a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 100. Okay, if I come through and I cross these out, I end up between 4 and 5. So to find the median of that, I have to do 4 plus 5 divided by 2, which gives me 9 over 2, which is going to give me 4 and 5/10. My median is 4 and 5/10. Now, I answered all the measures of center, but this is still asking what is the best measure of center? Well, we said not mode, because there's only one repeat. It only repeats once, so it's not a lot. Now, to decide between if it's mean or median, I have to decide, is there an outlier? And in this case, yes, there is. Okay, 100 is an outlier. So that means that median is going to be our best measure of center. Median is the best measure of center because 100 is an outlier. All right, let's take a look at example 4. What is the best measure of center for the following data set? So let's start with our mode. Do I have any repeats? Nope, it looks like I do. My mode is equal to 6. The 6 repeats because my numbers are 6, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, let's find our mean next. I'm going to add them up and divide by how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by 5 of them. Okay, 6 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 gives me 28 over 5. 28 divided by 5 gives me 5 and 6/10. And last is my median. Again, we're just practicing with these measures of center. Looks like 4 is my smallest, then 5, then 6, then 6, then 7. If I cancel, 4 and 7 goes away. 5 and 6 goes away, and it looks like my median is a 6. Now, which is the best measure of center? I'm going to say not mode, because there's only one repeat. And now I need to decide, is there an outlier? And no, there is not an outlier. So, since there is no outlier, your mean is your best measure of center. So, mean is the best measure of center because there is no outlier. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the end of our notes today. Biggest thing I want you to remember is mean is no outlier. Median, yes, an outlier. And then my last one is my mode, which doesn't really care about outliers or not. It's lots of repeats. All right, guys, that's all for today. I will see you later.